In this video, we will discuss about how does the inductor behaves when AC is fed through it. So for that, I consider this is your inductor having a inductance. This is also known as a self-inductance, and it is connected to the alternating power supply. So alternating power supply is represented by this sinusoidal graph. So here you can see that EMF alternating voltage is keep on changing and changes its polarity after a definite interval of time. So when AC is fed through this inductor, so here the voltages keep on increasing. So as the voltage across is keep on increasing, which changes the magnetic flux linked with this coils. So as a result, the induced current is produced in such a way to oppose this increase. So as the voltage is increasing, as a result the current will increase. So this can be done by inducing EMF or a current in the opposite direction. So because of this opposite direction, this conventional current feels an opposition. So battery has to supply an extra energy or extra potential to overcome this current. So we know that the potential drop across this inductor is given by E is equal to minus L di by dt. So this power supply has to maintain this current. They need to supply an extra potential. So that extra potential is equal to E is equal to L di by dt to compensate, to overcome, to minimize this opposing EMF. Yet the opposing EMF supplied by the battery is equal to L di by dt. Now I want to calculate what is the value of this current. So to calculate it, I just rearrange the term. So what we get, E dt is equal to L di. So further, di will be equal to E by L into dt. So we know that the induced EMF is given by E is equal to E naught sine of omega t. So what we get, di is equal to E naught sine of omega t divided by L into dt. Extra current supplied by the power supply. So to do that one, I just have to integrate it. So integrating this equation, so what we get, di is equal to E naught by L into sine of omega t into dt. What we get, I is equal to E naught by L is constant. So here sine of omega t into dt. So further what we get, E naught by L. Now we want to calculate what is the instantaneous value of current through this inductor. So for that I will solve from this equation. So we calculate di is equal to E by L into dt. Now put the value of alternating voltage, that is from here it is di is equal to E naught sine of omega t divided by L into dt. So for a certain time t, current can be calculated by integrating this equation. So integrating this equation, so we get what we get, I is equal to integral of E naught by L into sine of omega t into dt. Now solving little bit, so E naught by L is constant, so I will take it outside. So we are left with only sine of omega t into dt. So integration of sine omega t is minus cos omega t. So E naught by L, so it is minus cos of omega t. Since this angle is omega t instead of t, so we have to divide the differentiation of this angle, that is omega t. So the differentiation of omega t is simply omega, so we have to divide by omega. So this is our solution. So after solving little bit, so we get E naught omega L and minus of cos of omega t. So this is the value of current. But I want to write this value of current in the standard form to I naught sine of omega t. Since it is not sine, so I add a phase factor, that is phi. Now compare these two equations, this and this equation. So from here, this I naught is equal to this value. So here I naught is equal to E naught divided by omega L, and what should be the value of this phi, so that sine omega t plus phi is equal to minus cos omega t. So that is minus pi by 2. So that is minus pi by 2 plus omega t. So if you take minus common, so minus will come here, and it is pi by 2 minus theta, so that is cos theta. So minus is here, so the phi value is minus pi by 2. Now focus on this part. Now if you see the Ohm's law says that current is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So this term, that is omega L, is known as, or it plays the same role as the resistance. So this term is known as reactance of a inductor. Now why it is called as a reactance of an inductor? Because sometime it supports the current, sometime it opposes the current. So that is why it is a reactance of a inductor. So why it is called as a reactance? Because sometime it supports the current and sometime it opposes the current. But it has the same unit as that of resistance. So that is ohm. Now, so what we get? The current, the peak value of current will be equal to E naught divided by XL. So this is how we can able to calculate the peak value of current. Even if you want to calculate the instantaneous value of current, then also we can calculate the voltage at that point divided by the reactance, that is reactance of an inductor. Standard current equation becomes I is equal to I naught, that is E naught by XL into sine of omega t minus pi by 2. So this is our current equation. Now if you want to compare it with the phase of a voltage, so we know that voltage equation is represented by E is equal to E naught sine of omega t, and concentrate on the phase. So here the phase is omega t minus pi by 2, but here the phase is omega t. So you can see here that here the voltage leads the current by the phase of pi by 2. So we can say that here current lags because it is omega t minus pi by 2. The current lags the voltage by the phase of pi by 2. If you want to draw the graph, so it is just a sine wave or sine graph, or it is sinusoidal. Now for the current equation, you can see here current lags because it is omega t minus pi by 2. So that is, if time was 0, then here the sine was minus pi by 2, that is minus I naught. So that is represented by here. Similarly, at different location you will find that, so this is this much. So this is our current equation. So this is our current equation and this is our voltage equation. So you can see here the current lags behind the voltage by the phase of pi by 2. Now more conventionally we can represent it by voltage supply is simple, that is E naught is equal to sine of omega t, and the current equation across the inductor across L is equal to I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2, that it lags behind the phase of voltage. So we know that phasor diagram is represented by two lines, that is x-axis and this is your y-axis. First I will draw the phasor for voltage. So here the length of the arrow represents the peak value of the voltage, and the angle it is making with x-axis represents its phase. So here phase is, the angle is omega t. In its projection of this arrow on the y-axis represents its instantaneous value. So as the time passes, this arrow keep rotating along this direction, along the counterclockwise direction, and the instantaneous value keep on changing. Now if you want to draw the same phasor for the case of current, so here the current phase is omega t minus pi by 2. So it is omega t is this much and minus pi by 2 means this much, 90 degree. So this is our arrow of current. The length of this arrow represents the peak value, and the projection on the y-axis represents its instantaneous value. So this is your phasor diagram of it. So here you can see that as with time this current and voltage vector or arrow rotates, they always have a phase difference of pi by 2. So you can say that. Now let us discuss how does the inductor behave when AC is fed through it in terms of energy. So we know that when we fed AC power supply, the AC power supply is represented by this sine wave. So first I divide this AC power supply into two sections. So here is first one is from 0 to T by 4 and then T by 4 to T by 2. Now for this section 0 to T by 4, the EMF of this voltage or the voltage of this power supply keep on increasing. So as the voltage of this power supply keep on increasing, which makes the current also increases, which makes the conventional current also increases. So as a result, we know that the magnetic flux linked with this conductor also increases, and according to the Faraday law, the induced EMF is produced in this inductor but in opposite direction. So this is a direction of induced current. If suppose the conventional current is along this direction, then the induced current will be along this direction. So which oppose this conventional current. So the battery has to supply extra energy, extra potential to overcome this induced EMF. So here the battery has to supply the energy. So as the battery is supplying the energy, this inductor consumes the energy. This process continues till it reaches to the maximum value. When the power supply becomes the maximum value, so there is no further increase EMF as well as current, so no change in magnetic flux. So the no induced EMF is produced. Now in the second case, if I draw another one diagram, now for this time period T by 4 to T by 2, here the voltage supply is keep on decreasing. So as the voltage supply is decreasing, the source is decreasing, so the conventional current will also decreases. So as it is decreasing, there is a decrease in the magnetic flux linked with these coils. So Lenz's law says that the induced EMF is produced in such a way to oppose this decrease. So this is the case when producing a current in the same direction. So this is a direction of induced current if this is a direction of conventional current. Now here you can see that this current supports the conventional current. So mean to say that here this inductor supplying the energy, or we can say that it give the energy to the electrical circuit. So from here you can see here, for this part of the power supply, the energy is consumed by the inductor, but for this part of this power supply, energy is supplied or it is given to the electrical circuit. So from here you can see that for this cycle it consumes, and for this cycle it is supplying the energy. So if you take the total average power, the average power consumed by it will be equal to 0. Thanking you.